If you're a singer and you think you need a fancy studio in order to make music and put those songs of yours, this video is gonna save you a lot of cost, time, and confusion. Hey guys, I'm Saurabh Shetye. I'm a singer-songwriter and a music producer. I've composed for various TV commercials and feature films, and I've also sung as a playback singer for many films, these commercials, and a lot of live events as well. And I had a question from some of you asking me how to start off with this whole music production journey as a singer. And that's why I'm making this as a 3-part series in which you understand what all you need to have in order to start your journey as a singer producer. In part 1, we'll go through the hardware and the equipment that you need. In part 2, we'll go over the software requirements of it all. And in part 3, we'll learn what skills you need to develop in order to make it as a singer producer. So let's go for what's basically needed for your setup. And you can find all the products that I've spoken about in the description of this video. Now let's jump right to it. So as hardware goes, many beginners tend to fall for the trap, which is look at endless reviews of endless things and options in a certain category, not really sure what all is necessary to start off right now, and buying too much too soon, which leaves you overwhelmed with all of the things that you have without the right skill set to match it yet. So let's go for the bare minimum setup step by step. So the first step is having a setup where you can record the vocals directly, where you can produce the music, save it, and keep on producing. And for that, you need a system. Now it can be a Windows or a Mac setup. It really doesn't matter what you have, as long as you have decent specs on it, because as the modern softwares go, they are pretty intensive. So you can't go with a basic laptop because in time you'll just be needing to buy a new one again. But if you have a very restrictive budget, this is all you need to make music, because the laptop will have inbuilt speakers. You can use the keyboard of the laptop as a MIDI keyboard to put in notes as well. And you can record decently well over the laptop microphone. Now, once you have a laptop, the second thing which you should be buying is a good pair of headphones. Now, headphones matter a lot because if you are gonna be recording vocals in a laptop, even using the laptop microphone, if you don't have headphones on, the track will also get recorded along with the vocals when you sing into the microphone. So you definitely need a pair of headphones so that the sound of the track just comes in your ears and you can sing in either the laptop microphone or the microphone on the headphones. Now in terms of headphones, you can start with the basic mobile headphones that you get as well with a hands-free microphone, so you can use that on top of it. But I'd recommend this is the second basic piece of gear that you need, and try to get a decent pair of headphones in which you understand the nuances of the music that you're making. You also don't want the normal headphones that people use to hear music, but you need a pair of monitoring headphones. Now, how are they different? Is they have a balanced flat EQ, which might not sound the best in that headphone, but once you mix it on that headphone and you mix the track using those headphones as a reference, they generally tend to sound good on every other piece of audio equipment. Now in terms of monitoring headphones, there's again a tier of them to be choosing from. Now many beginners tend to make this mistake when buying their first pair of monitoring headphones. They tend to go for an open back headphones, but you should always choose a closed back headphones as your first pair of headphones. Now why are they important is the closed back do not allow any sound to go outside of the headphones. So it's very important when you record your vocals into the mic, the sound from the headphones is not going back into the mic. That's why take care that you use a closed back headphones. And in the same, there's a lot of categories, a lot of price points depending on how clear, how flat they are, how much they are able to emulate different settings. But you can start from this basic model. You can go on to these mid-tier models, which are the industry standard as well in terms of mixing. So once you have these, you can be sure you're going to reach some basic level of understanding about the quality of your music. As a bonus tip, if you don't have a room that you can acoustically treat for having the right kind of speakers outside later, I would highly recommend choosing a nice pair of headphones which really solves 90% of your problems. I personally was using quite a few, but what caught my eye were these headphones by VSX, and they emulate all sorts of settings. So even if you want to understand how your song would sound on a cell phone, you can just switch it. On a car, you can just switch it and it emulates the same thing. It's an amazing piece of equipment and I highly recommend it if you have the budget. If not, the base ones are completely fine. I have mixed on them for almost 5 to 7 years. So no worries. Now, if your laptop and headphones are sorted and now you have more budget, I'm sure you'd want to record your vocals on a professional mic rather than on the laptop microphone or the headphones microphone. So for connecting this mic to a laptop or a computer setup, you need to have an audio interface. Now, an audio interface serves two purposes. One is, of course, connecting your mics, your headphones, your guitar lineouts into the audio interface, from which it will give the signal to the laptop. And the second is, it also takes on some audio processing tasks from the laptop and does it by itself, freeing a bit more of your laptop's memory as well. Now, for an audio interface, don't go too big, don't go too costly. You can find a basic end audio interface or even buy it secondhand for some models because they are really robust. And I've of course added all the links in the description. But as of now, 1 to 2 inputs should be enough for you. If you are planning on, say, playing an instrument or having a second mic, recording a duet, I would in most circumstances recommend you to go for a 2 input audio interface. So you can attach a mic to one of the inputs and a guitar or any other instruments to the second input. In terms of the costing, it really varies. Again, you can buy something very robust like these products, or you can go for something a bit mid-tier like this product. And if you have a lot more budget, it of course keeps on increasing and the quality keeps getting better and better. But as of now, if you're starting off, just try to choose one of these. And now that you do have an audio interface, you need a mic. Now, there are two types of mics as well. You can either use a condenser mic or a dynamic mic. Now, I won't go into the technicalities of it in order to confuse you more, but on a general sense, dynamic mics are pretty good for even live performances and indoor performances. They don't capture a lot of the high end or the low end. So they should suffice when you're starting off with your recording, especially if you have an open room or a lot of noise outside. But if you can control the noise element outside, a condenser mic is the way to go, like this one. It is a lot more sensitive and it can capture the nuances of your voice or any other instrument that you're recording as well. And with an audio interface, you can use it directly because it tends to need a phantom power, which is a 48-volt line, which is included in most of the audio interfaces. And of course, all of the ones I've included above. And if you don't have the budget to cover all of these, you can choose a basic end mic. Remember that mic technique means a lot more than having the right mic. So those are the bare minimum things that you need as of now. But what are the things which you do not need yet, but of course you would like to have it as you go ahead for your production journey? One is MIDI keyboards like this one. It makes it pretty easy to record all the music that you're making. But if you're just starting out and you are not gonna be making a lot of music on the keys, you can use your computer keyboard for a lot of things, and using your mouse you can create music as well. Second is expensive plugins. Please don't buy any of them before you've got the right hardware equipment. Third is studio monitors. I haven't included studio speakers or monitors in this whole segment because I feel if you're starting off, you should just try to have a good pair of headphones, see how you're feeling when you're making music, and if you are enjoying it, then that's the time where you actually need to buy those studio monitors, because with that comes a lot other things as well, where you'll have to have a desk space where you keep the monitors, you have to align them properly, you have to position them in a certain way. So I want you to skip all the hassle before you actually start loving the process. Fourth is acoustic treatment. Now, acoustic treatment can be minimal to a lot based on the kind of room that you're in, and the smaller boxier room it is, the tougher it is to do appropriate acoustic treatment, because you'll be mixing through your headphones hopefully, and when you're recording, some of the room's reverbs or echoes that might get captured in the vocals can be removed using some amazing plugins. So that's it for part 1. You've understood what all equipment you need to buy. I've of course put all the product links in the description. In part 2, I'll head over to the software side of it, the DAWs that you really need to work with, and I'll explain the differences between all the different softwares that exist. So if you found this content in any way useful, please subscribe to my channel and like the video, and comment what gear you have and what you're planning to buy, because this channel, Music in Progress, is about making musical careers possible and not intimidating. Thank you.